All right, we're starting recording now. I again, thank you all for showing up. I want to say a few words at the top before we get into questions and answers based on the Q&A session I had with my previous class to see if I can go ahead and address some concerns that you might have. So this assignment is comprised of 4 pieces. Your two genre writing pieces, which are your social media post, your op-ed. You have to create 2 original pieces of writing. And then you're going to have an audience strategy in which you discuss how you targeted your specific audience in your pieces of genre writing. So you have 2 pieces of genre writing and then 1 audience strategy, which is 250 to 500 words. And then these 3 pieces of writing are your composition in 3 genres final essay submission, and you can have those all in one document or you can have them in 3 separate documents. That's fine with me. And then after you have submitted your writing in 3 genres final submission, you're going to have a reflection just like you did for your source-based essay, in which you discuss what you think you did well in this essay and what you think you could improve upon. So what's due tomorrow? You have a draft due tomorrow, and it's okay if you haven't finalized your 2 pieces of genre writing yet. You will get full credit for your draft as long as you have completed that 250 to 500 word audience strategy. I encourage you to put up the work that you have done so far towards your writing in 2 genres, towards those genre writing pieces, but if it don't feel like you have to be totally finished with those pieces, especially if you're making a video or writing a longer piece of media. I understand that you might not be finished yet, but I will give you credit for completion of the draft as long as you meet that 250 to 500 word minimum for the audience strategy. Any questions so far? No questions so far? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no anxiety, 10 being the most anxiety you've ever felt in your life, how are you feeling about this essay? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. 5, 5, seeing some 5s. 6.
Wait, for the record, you don't Google anything, right? You just make it up your own, right? The sources.
You have to create your own original sources. This essay doesn't require that you do any outside research, but most of you all are doing the same topics as your source-based essay. So I'm expecting you to have some knowledge about your subject material, but you don't necessarily have to cite outside sources. Okay, so I'm seeing some middling levels of anxiety. Pretty good. What other do you guys voice your concerns to me, please? Please tell me what questions or anxieties you have about this assignment.
Wait, to be clear, do we have to have both sources due by tomorrow or
So
like
I encourage you to submit what you have in terms of writing for your 2 sources, but for the draft, I really am just going to be grading based upon whether or not you've completed an audience strategy, which
oh,
is the
okay.
250 to 500 word justification for why you made the stylistic choices that you make. So I'd like for you to have a plan for what you're, sorry, my buzzer just rang. I'd like for you to have a plan for what you want to do in your 2 genres, but you don't necessarily have to have them completed just yet.
Okay. All right.
Also, I well, well, I For my proposal, I said that I was gonna pick 2 sources, but I changed my mind on one of the sources. So do I just redo the proposal or do I just change in the draft?
Like you're doing a different type of source?
Yeah.
You can just change it in the draft. It's fine, but your proposal is not binding. If you have concerns about it, you can email me and ask me if it's okay, but
It's not graded.
I haven't graded your proposals yet.
Because I wasn't really clear on the proposal part. So
Okay, well, I wish you had emailed me to let me know that you were not clear. The proposal that was due for today, I wanted you to have a plan laid out for what your essay is, but that proposal, you're welcome to change it. I expect many of you will not complete the project as you lay out in your proposal, but will have some changes that happen over the course of your research and your writing, and that's totally fine. You don't have to redo your proposal.
okay, so as long as I change in the draft, it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you change it in the draft, that's fine.
Miss Kelly?
Yes. And please don't address me as Miss.
Sorry. Can you further explain like what the audience strategy is?
Sure. So there's some description of what the audience strategy is on the assignment itself. And that audience strategy, just like you did in your source-based essay, you offered analysis of the rhetorical situation. I want you to analyze the rhetorical situation of your 2 genres, and I'd like for you to discuss what choices you made to address the concerns of your audience. So, for example, if you are writing a social media post that's aimed at young people, you might say, like, I chose to compose a short tweet because that young people can easily digest, and I chose to use slang because young people know that type of language, and I chose to whereas if you were writing a newspaper article, you would use language that people of different age demographics would know. You would draw in more factual information, and you would use language geared at a more general audience. I want you to talk about like the specifics of your genre and why that genre suits the needs of your audience, and also the specifics of the language you use in that genre writing and how that suits the needs of your audience. So your audience strategy is a discussion of the strategy that you use to target your specific audience. And so you can think of it as like a justification for the choices that you make.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Specifics. It's Sifa asks, are there any specifics of what kind of project we do for video ad, or example, a video would be appropriate. I'd like for you to be specific about how you imagine your video being displayed. Like, do you see it as a TV commercial? Is it something that you would show in classes? Is it a video that would get shared on social media? Those are different types of videos. So video is not specific enough, but there are different types of videos that you could make. I have had several students in the past make ads, and those can be very effective. And short story, as long as you're proposing an argument, a short story can be appropriate as well, either a fictional short story or a personal narrative short story. That can also be appropriate. Does that answer your question, Sifa?
Yeah, thank you.
Parth asks, can we have a different audience for each genre? The answer is definitely. I imagine that most of you all will probably have a different audience for each genre. And I'd like for you to discuss the similarities and differences between your approaches in each of your genre writing and how that differs based on your differing audiences. So I think it'll make for a more interesting audience strategy if you do have 2 different audiences that you're targeting in your different genres. Also, I wanted to mention to you guys, I am aware, my first class made me aware that you were not able to access the images for the third example that I posted, and I have reposted those images and you should be able to access them. I don't have an audience strategy for those two pieces, but I think those visuals are a very good idea of the type of pieces that you could make. One of them is a poster and the other one is an Instagram post. So I have reposted those and you should be able to access them now. Questions about the examples that I posted? Okay, if you guys don't have any further questions, then we can go ahead and close out. I will have hopefully your proposals graded by tomorrow. I graded my previous classes today. And I hope to have your source-based essays back to you by the end of this week. Please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions or concerns at all as you're writing your drafts. And I'm also available to meet one-on-one with you if you'd like for me to go over your project at any point in the process. I will see you guys at 2 p.m. in Professor Charlton's class.
Bye, Kennedy.
Bye. Have a great afternoon.